I tried every gaming handheld in 2025 to find out which you should buy. First, let's start with the MSI Claw 2. This is the new and improved Claw 8 AI handheld. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty awful name. Like, just call it the Claw 2. Nintendo, they had the right idea. Running the latest generation of Intel's ultra-core processors, Lunar Lake, this gives you much better battery efficiency and also graphics performance because of the new XeSS2 within the graphics card, based on some form of like AI frame generation. Unpopular opinion, but I personally really liked the very first version of the MSI Claw. I did a video of this over on the main channel. I traveled all the way to Taiwan with it and to Germany with it. I had it for months. I still have it now, but when we filmed that video, I filmed it over a series like 2 to 3 months. Traveling all around with the handheld, now I just really enjoyed it. I came from using the first generation of the Steam Deck, so for me, it was a big step up in performance, and I thought the battery life was fine compared to how I could only get like about 45 minutes playing Spider-Man on the original Steam Deck when I got that back in whenever that was, like 2021, I think. So I was a huge fan of the MSI Claw, found it was very ergonomical and comfortable to use. I liked how it felt in the hand and all of the different triggers, everything just felt great. Had the Hall effect sensors, no stick drift issues, cool RGB effects, but I do admit the battery life was nowhere near as good as something from like the Asus ROG Ally X, which I did try out later in Q4. The original launch of the Claw AM1 wasn't the best. Optimization on stuff was fairly terrible, but once they released the firmware upgrade mid-2024, it made a massive difference to the overall performance. And that's when I actually started using the MSI Claw, was after the second firmware, like the main firmware upgrade they did. I didn't use it at launch, so I didn't experience it when it was terrible. But unfortunately, that kind of tarnished its reputation for its whole generation and life cycle. The new MSI Claw 8 AI Plus has some massive improvements in the overall specifications. Now has a huge 8-inch display, full HD 1080p resolution with a 120Hz refresh rate. The overall ergonomics of the device have been changed massively, and the layout of how it feels in the hands, it's still very comfortable to use, but it's a little bit bigger, which can then accommodate this nice screen. It features a new and improved 80-watt millihour battery, giving you enough power for around 4 hours of uninterrupted gaming. And as previously mentioned, it's leveraging that Intel XeSS for AI-enhanced upscaling to make the games look way better and run faster. Essentially what this does is it will render the game at a lower resolution, and then it will upscale it to make it look like it's running at 1080p. So you'll get better frames per second and also potentially be less taxing on the hardware. So you'll get obviously better battery life performance. I must admit, the Lunar Lake generation of CPUs that I believe is inside of this MSI Claw, battery efficiency on these are unbelievable. We've recently been looking at some laptops that were powered by Lunar Lake, and I was flabbergasted at how long a Windows laptop actually lasted on a daily basis powered by that. I also included our 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports that can handle various different applications, from hooking up to a big screen, using this almost like a Nintendo Switch if you were to like dock the Switch and then use it on the screen with controllers. Similar premise. You could dock this like you would a laptop, use it on a monitor with a mouse and keyboard similar to a desktop PC style setup, because obviously this does run Windows 11. But then the additional Thunderbolt ports can be used for external storage, super fast storage. So if you exceed the 1TB NVMe SSD that's inside of it and you just want to throw some extra stuff in there, or even just transfer some files, video edit or something ridiculous on this thing, you can do that. You can hook that into that Thunderbolt 4 port. To also go with the improved performance from the Intel processor, there is up to 32GB of RAM available inside of these bad boys as well. Next, let's take a look at probably one of the best handhelds ever made over the last few years, and that's the Asus ROG Ally X, or ROG. What do you say? Do you say Asus ROG or Asus ROG? I think it's meant to be ROG. Potentially, this could be dethroned by the new MSI Claw, but up until this point, it has had the best battery life performance and also FPS available in any of the handhelds currently in the marketplace. It features a 7-inch Full HD display, 1920 by 1200, which gives you crisp visuals, and it is also 120Hz. Unlike the MSI Claw, this is powered by AMD, the Ryzen Z1 Extreme processors. Now, there are 2 different versions of the Asus ROG Allies. You've got Gen 1, and then also you got the Ally X. This has got the better processor, the better graphics, the better performance, and also the upgraded battery life. This is insane. But the Gen 1 is not too bad still. This is fantastic. It's also often on sale, so you can get it. I swear I've seen this for around 350, 400 pounds, which I don't think is too bad. I think that's a pretty respectable amount of money to spend on a handheld, because you've got to bear in mind, these aren't primary devices, they're auxiliary devices. You have them in addition to something. Like for me personally, last year, I traveled so much for working and filming, and my schedule was so intense. I was away for like 70-80% of the year. That meant I wasn't at home to be playing on my consoles here, so my PlayStation games didn't really play them that much because I couldn't take the PS5 with me, and the PlayStation Portal, it streams over the internet, not ideal. These bad boys, I could take the handhelds with me and use my Xbox Game Pass subscription, PC for Game Pass, just use all of my cloud saves. So whether I was playing on my Series X at home or playing on these handhelds, I could just pick things up, no problem whatsoever. This is where I've seen the pure value of device like this. If you commute for work, travel a lot for work, you're away, or even if you're a student, like, you know, you live at home and then you go away for the term time, and, you know, for university or whatever, or school, perfect. Whereas back in the day when I used to have to go away for school or go away for uni, I would literally have to take my PC with me, and then the gaming laptops weren't that good back in the day, so they just wasn't good bang for buck. So I literally take this PC with me and a monitor, whereas one of these bad boys would do the exact same job now. Probably my favorite feature of the Ally X over the original Gen 1 is the improved buttons. It's way more comfortable in the hand. These triggers at the back are just easier to access, and the front triggers here with the bumpers are a little bit wider, and they just sit nicer, making it more comfortable to use. On the new Asus ROG Ally X, you do have two Type-C ports. Obviously, this replaces the proprietary connection on the original ROG Ally X, which was for the eGPU. This is the external GPU that you could attach to the system to upgrade the graphics performance of the device. You can still do this on the new Ally X. It just uses Thunderbolt instead, which is a much cleaner connection type and way more useful because it also doubles up as a spare Type-C port. Next, let's take a look at the brand new series of handhelds from Lenovo. This is both the Legion Go 2 and also the Legion Go S. The Lenovo Legion Go 2 has had some beefy upgrades. Running the new Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor, it takes the graphics cores from 12 to 16. The new OLED display introduces variable refresh rate, HDR 10-bit color, and also a 144Hz refresh rate on this 8-inch screen. The battery has also seen a sizable increase of 50%, and the RAM is also being bumped up to 32 gigabytes. The Legion Go 2 also has some unique features similar to the Nintendo Switch, where I want to say Joy-Cons, but basically the Joy-Cons remove off the display, so you can then just have the panel there, use them as controllers, multiplayer, whatever, exactly the same as Nintendo Switch. Basically, the control mechanisms are removable from the handheld. To complement the Legion Go 2, there is also the brand new Legion Go S. Now, the Go S is probably the handheld I'm most excited about from Lenovo, and that's because of its affordability. This takes everything great about the Lenovo series of Legion handhelds, but drops the price down drastically. And also, it is available with Steam OS. The Go 2 S has an 8-inch 120Hz display, features a slightly lower Ryzen Z1 processor, which is essentially the same one from the past generation of Gen 1 Legion Go, but actually has a more comfortable form factor. It doesn't have the fancy removable controllers, it's just literally a handheld, but it's so comfortable. It's small, it's lightweight, and when I held it in my hand, it felt fantastic. It's a way simpler device with none of the fancy thrills and eye-catching features of the Go 2. It just does its job. But interestingly, it's priced at around, I think, $399, but with Steam OS, it's actually cheaper. It's gonna be $50 less to get the Steam OS version, which is very affordable for a handheld, entering the market, brand new price, brand new launch price, making it way more accessible to more gamers. Essentially, the Steam OS version will not be running Windows 11. It will run just like a Steam Deck, which for probably most people fine, probably 90% of your games are on Steam anyways, and also, as we all know, there's different workarounds when it comes to Steam OS for accessing other game libraries on the Steam Deck. But probably one of the biggest advantages of having Steam OS on your handheld is it's just a way more optimized experience. It's way easier to navigate your game library, get around the device compared to trying to use Windows 11 sometimes on these tiny touchscreens. And also some of the brands have their own game launchers that you can boot up with the buttons on the side of the screen that just aren't great. So you do get a little bit more of a native feeling experience if you do go for the SteamOS version. On the topic of SteamOS, this wouldn't be a handheld video if we did not talk about the Valve Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is still probably one of the strongest options that you can get in the handheld marketplace, but it can often be overlooked because you forget it exists. It's not on Amazon, it's not on all these places. You have to buy it on Steam, on your PC, and then the shipping takes like 6 days. So you kind of forget, whereas these bad boys, you can get them on Amazon Prime next day to your house, and it's fast. You know, that makes a huge difference in your buying decision all of the time. You think, oh, what a faff trying to order this to your house. But this right here is actually the Gen 1 Steam Deck. I had mine, sold it, and then I bought one again for like £200, something dirt cheap. It was dirt cheap what it was, and then I did a storage upgrade on it. I took the back off of it, upgraded the SSD, and it works fantastic. I got like 2 terabytes or something crazy inside of this thing, and it still plays games perfectly fine. Now, since the Gen 1, there's obviously been the OLED version of the Steam Deck that improves all of the flaws with the first console that I raised in my review way back in 2021, which makes it a great option. However, I actually wouldn't recommend that you purchase the Steam OLED, and if you are looking at a Steam Deck, purchase Gen 1 because of how cheap you can get these things. I feel like this is a fantastic budget option into the handheld gaming market. It still performs great. Battery life is good enough, but considering that you can pick these up for around £200, £150 from some of the online retailers or used like CEX type places, which is where I got this from. Then even do a storage upgrade, which doesn't take too much effort. You literally just take the back off, install the OS onto here, throw an SSD in, and then boom, you've got a 2 terabyte console, so you can install as many games as you like on this. It works great, and if you're quite selective with the titles that you play, like Lego was a great example, Lego Star Wars, no battery life drain on that. Very easy title to play, but a good bit of nostalgia and kills the time while on the go. So depending on the categories of games that you want to play, whether it's the latest and greatest AAA titles, of course, you're going to probably want to get something a bit beefier. But if you want to play older games from like 2012, 2016, 2018, even some little strategical games or something that's not too crazy, or even emulators, perfect. Get one of these. You won't even outlay that much cash on it, and I think you'll be pretty satisfied with the overall result, and it'll help you see if you do actually use the device much at all. Because most of the handhelds we've discussed in today's video, they do cost around $600 to $1,000, which is a lot of money to spend on a device that you're not really going to use all of the time. And you could put that money towards a better desktop gaming PC or a better laptop, or even buying a console and having a handheld device that you can use in combination with the console. Whilst we're talking about flagship consoles, this wouldn't be a handheld video if we didn't mention the Nintendo Switch 2. This looks like a hard change for the Nintendo brand. In the past, they've had fun, colorful consoles, but this time they've gone for a matte black design, which looks a little bit more pro, more aggressive, and signifies a huge increase in sort of performance and the types of games that might be playable on one of those things. For a lot of people, the Nintendo Switch isn't an attractive option because of the first-party games. Nintendo has some incredible franchises, but also at the same time, they can feel a little bit kiddie. Mario's great for a few rounds, but playing that all of the time, sometimes you just want to boot up Red Dead Redemption 2. But if the performance matches some of these other handhelds in the marketplace, who knows what games may be ported over to the Nintendo Switch 2. And of course, all of the past Nintendo Switch 1 games are going to be compatible on this thing. You've got a bigger screen, improved controllers, improved Hall effect sensors, all these types of things have been fixed. So this could be a very strong option that launches later this year. But right now, details are fairly slim on what this could entail. It's pretty obvious that all of these handhelds share quite a lot of similarities, either in their performance or battery life. But what they all showcase is definitely a switch and change in what gaming is going to look like. Portable gaming in the future is only going to get better and better. And if you want to see me travel the world with these handheld consoles to see what they are truly capable of, you should check out this video next, because if you like this, you'll like that.